All right, what is up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel here. We're gonna do a little walk and talk here, little non-studio video here. Strictly for the fact of I thought I was gonna kind of have a couple weeks off here from really having to record any videos. We got an off week here from the series, which has been absolutely epic so far this year. But the news has been dropping hot and heavy here as we go through these off weeks. So let's do a little walk and talk here on this very steamy Michigan morning. So let's in this video, and I'm going to do a couple of these because there's a lot to talk about here, and we'll cover some of this stuff on the next show. Also, first up here in this video, we're going to cover Max Anstie makes an announcement that him and Firepower Honda are separating ways, which is kind of a bombshell because Max is the defending Australian Supercross champion. Now, we all knew that Max was going to Star Racing, and it's now been announced. I've kind of waited a couple days here. It's now been announced that Max is on officially riding Star Racing here as we go. But this is a bit of a surprise because, like I said, Max is the reigning, I believe, MX2/WSX MX2 Supercross champion in both those series. And those series are big money makers for that team, as well as big money makers for Max. So I kind of thought that Max was going to ride that series, or both those series, you know, make some money, because Max at this point has said openly he's Supercross only. He's here to ride Supercross, and that's what he wants to do. Now he's moved to Star early, and he is going to ride starting in Southwick here next week. Now, this is said that he's preparing for a possible Des Nations appointment there with the UK team, or the Britain team, whatever you want to call it, which is totally possible and probable. It is also, I believe he wants to be ranked maybe a little bit better for SMX here, because there is a lot of money in SMX. And this will also allow him to go to SMX, because I'm not sure what the Firepower team was going to do with that, but we'll see. But needless to say, Max Anstie off the Honda, onto the Star Racing Yamaha. And what's going to be really interesting is Max has been waiting and waiting and waiting to be on a bike that he thinks he can ride nationals on, to really go out and show what he can do. We saw him come out a couple of years ago on the Honda there at the nationals and have issues with the bike, and that's no real surprise. He was riding privateer teams. They were having, God, was that when they were having clutch issues? But he came out and ran phenomenally, absolutely phenomenally on those privateer bikes until they broke. Now he's on a Star Yamaha. From what I understand, Star has rented Southwick this week, and at least Anstie, Romano, and Deegan are there training right now. Now, what does this mean? Where do we think he slots in? Well, I think he slots in as a top 5 guy here for at least the first couple. Now, there are people out there talking that he's going to get to Southwick, and there's a possibility he could win, and they really think this. Now, I don't fully believe that he is going to win per se. Southwick, I think, is his best chance, just because we're all kind of talking about how Deegan isn't the best at Southwick at this point. But Deegan's also much better this year than he was last year, so that's kind of a thing too, and we'll have to see how this all works out. But I do think he slots in as a top 5 guy, and he kind of shakes up that thing. He's like a master pool. Like, he's way too far behind to win a title, so we're not going to talk title. But is he a top 5/podium guy, especially on that Star bike? I think so. I think so. God, this just keeps getting more interesting and interesting with these team changes, like mid-season, these exiting contracts early, these going into different contracts. Like, there's just a lot with this that is very, very interesting here. And we'll see what happens. We will fully see what happens. Now, this isn't going to be a huge thing for Max. Max has been riding with these Star Boys a lot because he trains at MTF, and the MTF facility and the Star facility, they bounce back and forth, so they all can ride different tracks. So that's not really a problem. It won't be too big of a change of scenery for him. Just the bike will be different. So we'll see where this goes. Comment down below with your thoughts. How is Max gonna do? I'm excited to see it. I'm excited to see him come redbud here. He's gonna add some spice. That's all I can say. So comment what you think of the move, and thanks for checking these videos out. Make sure to like, subscribe, and comment. We will have more of these videos. There's a couple more things we need to talk about here in this off week, so make sure you subscribe.